Okay, with Yellowjackets a mere days away, we are going to talk about some theories I have, probably about 2 or 3 for the new season, what we could possibly be seeing and all of that. So if you haven't already checked out the video I did on the Entertainment Weekly pictures they dropped, go check out that video. I just uploaded a couple days ago. I also noticed that Entertainment Weekly dropped a video, which I'll talk about briefly here, and then I'll talk about 2 or 3 theories that I have going into season 3 and what we could possibly see. But like I've said before, we're going to be covering the episodes weekly. We got 2 episodes this week, so expect 2 videos and some theory videos every week for Yellowjackets as we get into season 3 and a ton more things to come. So if you want to have all your Yellowjackets conversations, discussions here, we'll have them on the videos. We'll have discussions in the comments, but let's get into this new clip we saw. So the clip pretty much starts off with Van retelling the story of the Yellowjackets, their plane crash, how they survived, and apparently they are now calling Coach Ben a homicidal monster. So I'm assuming now they're thinking Coach Ben was the one responsible for the fire of their home in the end of season 2, which is a big theory that's been floating around for some time. And I've noted some interesting things some people have been discussing as well online, and that kind of got me thinking, could it have not been Coach? Some people think it could have been Ty when she's having one of those moments and Van is sort of helping her like disguise all of this and shifting the blame to Ben. And you know, that would make a lot of sense. They're trying to sort of keep it together, make it seem that they are in some like miracle, that they are being helped by some spirits, which is something that is also discussed in the video, which I'll get to in a bit. But why also put the blame on Ben? Well, it's almost time for them to sort of have a new sacrifice. And if the blame and the hate is towards Ben, that would make Ben the next likely to be eaten by the girls. And that would very much so be a big like win for them because they don't really have to sacrifice someone in their inner circle, right? That would make sense for me right there. Now, one of the interesting things we also see in this video is a complete like 180 of what Van is saying being told by Shauna through her diary. Now, Shauna is not with the group where Van is telling these stories and sort of trying to boost the morale for them. She's in her own little hut, which we find out was made in 12 days, this whole new like living situation for them now that the spring has come, thanks to Natalie, she says, thanks to Ty. And they are trying to sort of move forward from where they were in season 2, but Shauna still can't let that go. Everything that happened with her baby, what happened with Jackie, where they are right now, she sort of has come to a halt and said, this is weird. This is not normal like they're making it out to be. And I don't think it's just Shauna that feels this way, because we also see Travis walk away from Van's speech that she's giving and sort of see Lottie kind of seeing that Travis feels some type of way about this. And she's also kind of like on the fence about it as well, it seems. Natalie also seems to be trying to assume this new like situation she's in, where she is now seen as the group leader by everyone, and she doesn't want to let people down, but I don't think she really wants this position or this role, or feels that what they're doing is the right choices as well, which is very indicative of her character as well in the future, who feels that this was all just a crazy bunch of shit that happened to them, not really trying to like pinpoint it to some grander scheme or some spirits or things like that. So my theories going into season 3 is that Coach will become villain number 1 for the girls in the teenage years, and I think we're going to see Coach trying to survive. There's some points in the trailer where we see Coach, and I talked about this in the trailer breakdown I did a couple of months ago. Coach might be put up to trial to find out what exactly happened, and I think his punishment will be to be eaten if he is indeed guilty of burning the houses down. Now, I had a theory in season 1, I believe, where could there also be other survivors out there, and I believe that Coach could be a survivor. Now, season 3 and seemingly believing Coach will be captured by the girls and put on trial, that theory kind of doesn't have as much weight to it as I would initially have believed in season 1, but I could still see a possibility where Coach is able to run away and survive and maybe has his identity changed. But I do think there might be another one that has that happen to them as well, that is Melissa, because I still have the theory that Hilary Swank, who is a new character that is going to be introduced in season 3, would in fact just be adult Melissa. And I believe that there is going to be a sort of separation of the girls at some point in the next coming episodes, where some of them might go their different paths and they're never seen or heard of again. And by the time the core like girls that we know from all of the seasons, Misty, Shauna, Natalie, Lottie, all that, are rescued, that is a point when they just assume anybody who didn't get rescued just just died, and of course they don't want to speak about what happened over there because they don't want people to know they're cannibals. So I could definitely see a possibility where Melissa survived and she sort of maybe has some guilt of sorts, and Hilary Swank's character, of course being Melissa, is trying to sort of uncover all of this and try to make sense of what happened out there. So that's one of my theories there, is that Hilary Swank is indeed Melissa. I also believe Coach Ben could be alive in some capacity, or that Hilary Swank's character is maybe a relative of Coach Ben. That's also a strong possibility I have for those things right there. So that's me going into like very speculative mode. Like I have no like hard evidence that this is true or not, just fun speculation and theories. But I also think we're going to see a big dissolution happen between the core adults as well, because I think we were starting to see them sort of have some type of bond form, whatever it may be, whether it's Ben and Ty sort of rekindling each other, or Shauna coming back into the group, or Misty. But I think Natalie's death is going to be such a big strain on this bond, and it's really going to shake things up. There's moments in the trailer where we see Misty burning a picture of them. We also see Misty sort of seeming dissatisfied with the world at this point, because of course she had a connection to Natalie in her mind. And there is that one part where we see Misty stab Shauna. Now I've said it before, that could just be a whole thing happening in Misty's head and she wants to do that, but she doesn't really go for it. Even if it's not real or not, that is still something that happens, whether it's in Misty's like thoughts or in real life. So it really clearly shows that Misty is completely done with them, in my opinion. Now, it could be a whole other thing that's happening there, but from the looks of it, it looks like Misty really is done with them, as you can see. Now, we do know that they apparently said years ago that they wanted to do 5 seasons, and this is the 3rd season, so I think that things are really going to have to really start speeding up here. The biggest question everybody's had on their minds since the first episode was who was Pit Girl, and for the longest people thought it was Mari who was Pit Girl, but it sort of starts to seem that maybe it's not Mari anymore. Some people thought it was Jackie because of the necklace, but now we find out the necklace is just part of the ritual, so every girl who's sacrificed will just wear that necklace. I did talk about how Shauna's sort of descent here into season 3 is going to be interesting, because I think we're starting to see her be disillusioned with the way things are going as a teenager, and we're going to see the conflict between her and Natalie reach an all-time high, especially from the trailer where she's confronting Natalie about all of this, because she feels she should have been the Antler Queen, and maybe she has some different ideas of how things can be run. So I think we're going to start to see more of that animosity that they had for one another that was kind of like showcased a bit when they were adults, but not really all the way there. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens between Shauna and the rest of the group, because if this is the first episode from this clip, it looks like Shauna is very much so on the outside, and I think she's gonna have to find a way to come back in, or she could be the one that gets sacrificed. So Coach Ben put on trial, that's a theory I have that will be seen here, and that's gonna be, I think, a big part of this. I think also the fact that Hilary Swank's character is going to be a big character from the past, whether it's a relative to one of the girls or one of the girls and a survivor that we still haven't met and maybe they didn't know about. That's gonna be a very strong possibility for Hilary Swank's character. I don't think she's just like a random character. She could be, but that's just my opinion right there. But let me know your theories, your thoughts going into Yellowjackets season 3. Where do you think the story goes from here? What do you think is going to be happening? It's going to be crazy, I know for sure. Like, I think that season 3 is definitely where they really have to set up endgame, right? Like, where are we going here? A lot of the taglines and all that keep saying that there can only be one left because they have to keep the secret. As of now, nobody but the girls know what happens out there. We still don't know who exactly could be blackmailing them, or if these spirits are real or all in their heads. And I think that this season's really gonna expose all of that. So I'm excited. We're like 2 days away. I'll be catching the first 2 episodes. Maybe we'll do a live. If y'all want a live just talking and discussing that night what happened, we could do that, or we could do it the next day. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out once the episodes come out, but you'll get a video from me first and we'll get some discussions going. As always, that's gonna do it for me. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. We will be talking about Severance tomorrow if you're a fan of that after the episode airs. We do have a Paddington review today, which is kind of like a funny juxtaposition, as well as a news video, so don't miss out on any of that. I'll see all of you next time. Follow us wherever you can, whether it's Instagram, whether it's on TikTok, or here, or our website www.culturelixir.com. As always, stay safe, positive.